Hello and welcome to your practice. My name is Myckie and I'm here with Unify Mind Body to share a restorative yoga class with you. This practice is designed to help release the tension in the back of our body. So if you've ever dealt with low back pain or tightness in your legs and hips, this is a great class for you. We will be using some props today. You'll need 2 blocks, a strap, and a bolster. And just know that you can adapt this practice. So if you don't have those props available, try to find an alternative, and I'll offer some suggestions throughout the class. Please begin lying face down on your mat. Begin by lying face down on your mat, letting your legs come apart and resting your cheek or your forehead on the floor. I like to stack my hands and rest on one side of the body. And we're going to start by picking which direction you're looking in. So looking to the right and feeling the tension or the length in your shoulders and neck. And then switch, trying that other side. And just deciding based on the sensations in your body, which side feels best for you. And then come down, rest here on the mat, beginning our practice together with a bit of stillness. An opportunity for the body to begin the process of undoing as part of digesting everything that we have gone through. And as you come to stillness in the body, close your eyes here. Take a minute to move your awareness inwards and just find where there is still movement going on, just beneath the surface. Perhaps you can feel your breath moving to the back of your body as you breathe and lie here. Perhaps you can feel the circulation in your body, that sense of movement and heartbeats. And maybe there's something else. Your thoughts, some twitches and wiggles as you get a little more comfortable. So even in stillness, feeling the flow and the movement of life. And now we'll begin an equal part breath where we inhale and exhale for the same count. So we'll start with an exhale just to empty the lungs. And then on your next inhale, breathe in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for the same 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in. And just finding a length that feels good in your body that you can maintain for a few rounds. Maybe that's 4, maybe that's 5 or less. Just breathing in and out for the same counts. And then release that breath. Come back to what feels natural for you. And we'll start to move a little bit here. We're going to draw the right leg out to the side, moving your knee up and bringing that inner thigh to the floor. And you just want to be able to relax through the pelvis, the low belly, and inner thigh. So if the knee can come up to 90 degrees, great. Maybe it feels better a little lower, and you just want your foot soft and touching the floor as well. So finding this position with the knee up and the breath soft, I want you to feel along both sides of your spine, because we're going to crunch down that right side. So you're going to bring your right elbow down. You're going to shift your shoulders and chest down and just move your head now to find the hands. As you stack the hands and rest with your right elbow and your right knee closer together. And the left side stays long, but we get a bit of compression through the right vertebral discs along the spine. So you might start to feel some things. Feeling pressure on the knee of that inner right leg. Maybe you're feeling some release as you once again come to stillness. And possibly you're able to maintain that equal part breath to continue to remind your body that it's time to rest and undo. There is work in undoing, and it takes time. So let's spend 3 more breaths on this side before we switch. Breathing in for 4, and breathing out for 4. And now begin that transition back to the middle of your mats. Feet come together, and then over to the left side, starting with the leg, drawing left knee up, and then moving left elbows across and beginning to work the head down towards the left knee. And maybe it feels good to look down towards that knee, or perhaps it feels good to have your forehead on your hands. But do what needs to be done here so that you can rest, especially through the neck and shoulders, the low back, and the pelvis. Start to move into your equal part breath, counting silently in your head those 4 or 5 or more counts. And now it is time to come back to the center of your mat, feet together, and begin a few cobras, walking the hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your forehead and nose to touch the mats, and then start to roll the shoulders back and down. Gently press the heel of your hands into the mat to actively push the floor away and pull the elbows, the tips of the elbows, down towards the heels. On an inhale, lift up partway, just starting to lengthen your spine and reach the crown of the head up as you pull those shoulders down. Breath in, and as you exhale, lower and soften. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, lengthening the spine, maybe reaching up as you press the hands down. Exhale to lower. And inhale to lift, lengthening the body. Exhale, last one here, coming up maybe all the way or a little bit higher as the breath flows here. Exhale, elbows brush along the sides. And then bring your ear to the mat, arms down, pausing to readjust and assess the felt sense experience of this practice. As you move through class today, I'll invite you to continue checking in with your body. And this is just a simple reminder that you are constantly in conversation with your body, whether you know it or not. And so often we start to override our body's messages because we need to push through. And this is a natural part of life to get things done and to evolve and progress. But this class is here, and this practice is here, and our mat is here to support us in creating the space to undo those moments of overdoing must be met with the opposite of undoing. So begin with your awareness of your breath, and then bend your knees. Begin to rock the feet side to side, feeling that isolation and movement in the low spine. That gentle pressure through the top of the quads, all in the name of releasing. And did you know that your body does a lot of releasing through your exhale, through your out breath? Let's try it together now. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and push the air out of your lungs, making an audible noise. And again, deep inhale, full breath. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Bring the feet back down. And now roll over onto your back. Grab your strap. We'll begin to lengthen, stretching into the hamstrings. Reach your strap around the bottom of the foot, and then reach your right leg up towards the sky. Now this strap should hang on either side of your leg, so you can grab one side of the strap in either hand and keep your head, your neck and shoulders towards the mat. So the strap should help you in reaching and lengthening that heel and leg up towards the ceiling while keeping the shoulders and upper body soft. So let's start with just a gentle pointing and flexing of the toe, warming up the ankle. And we don't want to go all the way into this deep hamstring stretch just yet. So bend the knee, soften the leg, lower it down just enough so that you can relax and move through the ankle. And then start to straighten your leg and press through your heel. And you're already going to feel that stretch. So if you're ready for a little bit more, start to pull your leg up towards you, keeping constant tension through that strap. Now see if you can press your foot into the strap and get a little bit of muscle activation, helping to protect our joints as we open and stretch through our tendons, ligaments, and muscle. So we're going to spend a few breaths here. And I like to imagine that every breath is key, is super important for relaxing. So if you're holding your breath, you're not getting the same positive effect of unwinding tension. And now take both of your straps in your right hands. We're going to let that right leg come open to the outside. Just holding onto that strap, allow your leg to be like dead weight and let it come out as far as it wants to go. Just keep in mind that you want your hips and shoulders connected to the mat, so don't roll to that right side. And you want to stay soft through the muscles, so allow your hip to open. Allow the belly to be soft with each breath. And then using your hands on the strap, pull your leg back through center and over to the other side, coming across your body. Keep pressing through that heel. We're going to start to feel that IT band on the lateral aspects of the hip and knee. Good. On an inhale, raise your leg back to center. Release your strap and lower your leg down. Take a minute to feel the sensations on that right side. I find that my right leg always feels longer after I do a nice routine like that. So we're going to do that all over on the left side, starting with your ankle circles. Point and flex the toe, move it around, whatever feels good. And then Begin to press through the heel, lengthening the back of your leg as if to push that strap away. So strong through the legs as you push and lengthen. Take both straps in your left hand. And now start to drop that left leg out to the side, opening through the hip and staying soft in the rest of your body. Notice if you tend to hold your breath, release it now, and start to pull that left leg back through center and over to the right side of the room. Pressing again through the heel, open up the outer thigh. Take a deep breath and then come through center. Start to lower your leg all the way down, feeling the sensations in the body. Now, start to walk your feet up, planting them on the floor. And we'll do a few pelvic rocks. I want you to find the front of your hips. And gently, as you inhale, arch your spine off the mat as if you're pushing your belly and chest up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone, smush the low back flat as if to lift the hips. Starting to link the breath with the movement. Inhale, big belly puffing up, arching the spine. And then exhale, pressing the low back, tucking your tailbone as if to lift your hips. Let's do 3 more rounds. Inhale, opening the front of the body. Exhale, engaging through the heels and the glutes. Inhale and exhale. One last time. Now draw your knees to your chest and circle the knees. Getting ready to rock up to seated or roll to one side. Setting up for a supported child's pose. Grabbing your blanket, your pillow, or your bolster. Lie it long ways on your mat and bring it in towards your inner thighs. Bend your knees, sit back over your heels, and then start to drape over your bolster. Now, I like to have this bolster pushed as far towards my inner thighs as it will go, and then I also like to have it a little higher than hip height, so you can see the bolster over the top of my thighs here because it sits almost to my navel. It sits a little higher. And that feels so good in my body because then I can rest my belly, I can rest my chest, I can rest my ear on the bolster, and that part stays on the same line. My hips aren't higher, or my chest isn't higher than my head, or my hips or my heart. So take a moment here, grab another pillow if you need it to create this place to land, and then begin to drape over that bolster and just find a good place for the hands. This could be along your sides or kind of tucked in. Maybe you're feeling like lengthening the arms overhead. I want you to find that cozy place to land as we pause here for a moment and once again begin that conversation with the body, letting the monkey mind take a much needed vacation. We'll be here for a few more breaths. So do what you need to feel more comfortable. And then begin to invoke the sensation of heaviness in your body. Invoke the sensation of heaviness, feeling heaviness in your body. Imagine the weight of gravity like a weighted blanket over your shoulders, low back, and hips. Imagine hands pressing your shoulders down so that you hug your bolster a little closer. Surrender to this feeling of heaviness in the body. Feeling the breath naturally deepen and slow. Now bring your hands under your shoulders. Get ready to press up, but I want you to continue to feel into the heavy and dense aspects of your body. So we're going to take a huge breath here. Big inhale, open the lungs, roll the shoulder blades towards the midline, and then begin to push the floor away in slow motion here as you resist that feeling of heaviness and slowly rise up. Move your block out of the way. We're going to get ready here for a downward dog. Grab your blocks for your downward dog, placing them shoulder width apart on the mats. And you want them nice and sturdy, so have that big surface area on the floor so you can place your hands. You're not going to wobble to one side. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up towards the ceiling, let your head hang here, and put the heel of your hand on the very bottom edge of your mat, creating a little something to push against. Now bend your knees. Look past the knees here as if gently tucking your chin. And then see if you can shoot your hips back towards your heels and then lift them up a little higher. This is your downward dog. Now we're going to take some time softening the head and the neck and finding a little bit of movement. I personally love to rock side to side and then bend and straighten one knee. You might also kind of tuck and untuck your pelvis like we did on the floor with those pelvic rocks. Maybe you want to shake the head and neck. Just spending a moment here exploring this organic movement. What feels good today? Now come back to that strong downward dog, pushing the heel of the hands into the block, shooting your hips up and back, letting your head hang. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, hollow out your navel. Look at your hands. Inhale, start to walk the feet up to match the hands. Hip distance apart in a forward fold. Bend your knees and then inhale halfway, fingertips on the block. Look past the top of your mat here. Long, strong spine. Exhale, lower down all the way. Let your head hang, but keep the knees gently bent. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe floating your fingertips to your shins here. Strong through the back of the legs. Exhale, lowering all the way down. And we'll do that again. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to knees, long, strong spine. Now reach your arms out away from your sides and then begin to rise, coming to standing mountain. Pause here, take a breath. Let your body equalize. And then find your extended mountain. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, release the arms by your sides, falling forward, hands to toes. Inhale, rise halfway, flat back, long, strong spine. Exhale, hands to the blocks here as you step your right leg into low lunge. Ground that back knee, and then inhale, push off the floor with those hands, reach them up by the side. Exhale, bring the elbows out and down. Open the chest on an inhale, and on your exhale, lower hands to hips. Gently start to pull up through the lowest abs as if zipping up the midline of your body. And then gently press through that front heel and pull the heel towards you. You're going to feel your glutes start to engage. And this should have a natural lifting sensation as your inner organs and your abdomen become a little more tense and pulling up with strong core. Beautiful. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, grab your blocks, pull them back towards you. I like to raise that level now so my fingertips can rest on the skinny edge of the mat or of the block. And then extend your left leg out in front of you with the heel down, pulling the toes towards you. We're going to inhale, remain tall through the spine, and exhale, you're going to gently rock that left hip under the body. So as if you're kind of dropping your hip and moving your inner thighs towards each other. So just noticing how that feels. Gently start to lower down, but try to move with the heart lifted and the spine extended. See if you can come down a little bit more. Pull those toes towards you one last time, and then push off the blocks. Find your lunge. We're going to move through a flow here, so bring those blocks out of your way, tuck your back toes, and bring the feet together in plank. Now, I'm more than happy if you lower to your knees here. We are working on our chaturanga, so bend the elbows, tuck them along your sides, and slowly lower for a count of 3, 2, 1. Pause here. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Good. Inhale, rise, downward dog. Using your blocks if you would like. Spending a minute here to bend the knees, push the hips up and back, let the head hang. Breath in. As you exhale, hollow the navel. Inhale, look to the hands, walk your way up to forward folds. Exhale, bow the head. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, lower down. Bend your knees, push through your heels, scroll to standing. Big inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come through the midline of the body, finding heart center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend forward, hands to knees or toes. Inhale, rise, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left leg back, low lunge. You're welcome to use your blocks here. Inhale, reach up. Open the elbows out and down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hands to hips. Good. Gently tuck that tailbone, root through the front heel here. See if you can rise another inch. Good. Exhale, hands to your blocks. Pull the blocks alongside your front leg. Extend that right leg, pulling the toes towards you, and then dipping your hip down towards the floor. Start to work your way into a deeper forward fold. Being mindful of the crown of your head as you pull it away from the hips, creating a little bit more integrity through the spine. Last breath here. Gently press back up to lunge and then move through your flow. Hands come down to the mat. Step back to plank. Lower for a count of 3, 2, 1. Find a supported back bend. And then pause in child's pose. Inhale, rise, finding downward dog. Exhale as you release the head and pedal out the feet. Deep breath in. As you exhale, hollow out your navel. Inhale, look to your hands, walk up, forward folds. Inhale, rise halfway, extending the spine. Exhale, lower, root through the heels, come all the way up to standing. Hands through hearts. Good. Take a step back with your right leg, turning the toes out slightly, setting up for pyramid pose to continue to lengthen and stretch through the lower body. Use your blocks on either side of that front foot. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, keep your spine flat as you fold forward. And then release your hands to the blocks or the floor. Work here at squaring your hips, pulling that right hip up and sending your left side back. See if that changes the sensation in this stretch. And then bring some awareness into the foot as you wiggle the toes. Try to press through the four corners of the feet, finding strength through the ball of the big toe, pinky toe, and both sides of the heel. Good. Slowly start to rise. Bend that front knee and press off your blocks. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, and then step forward, switching sides. Step the left leg back, turn the toes out slightly, square your hips to the front of the room. Spread the toes. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, finding your flat back, forward fold. And then gently beginning to pull that left hip forward, lengthening the leg, sending awareness throughout the whole body as you breathe and enjoy this intense leg stretch. Once again, bend your front knee as you rise, come up to standing, and then step through, finding the top of your mat. Grab one of your blocks using the narrow side, putting it between your inner thighs, and then gently pressing the knees towards each other. Feel that little bit of activation through the inner thighs. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, sit the hips, finding chair. And just take a moment here to gently rock the pelvis, tuck and untuck the tailbone until you find a neutral spine. Or maybe tucking the tail just a little more here. We're going to gently squeeze into that block and release. So as you exhale, brace. And as you inhale, relax for 3 rounds. Last one. Slowly rise. Release that block now. And come once again onto your back. We're going to set our props here in a nice supported way. And we are moving to the end of our practice. So I always like to keep these more intense and isolated practices a little shorter, just because when we are in pain, if we overwork, sometimes we can do more damage than good. So if there are any other stretches that you love to do for your back and spine, maybe pause the video, do those now, and then get ready for our restorative and restful Savasana. But if you're ready to join me in Reclined Butterfly, we won't be here for the whole time, just about 3 or 4 minutes. But you'll want your bolster lying long ways. You want both of your blocks. And what you'll end up doing is walking the hips up to find that bolster, and I can feel it right on my sacrum. And then lay back. Hopefully you have some support here for your head, so your body is once again in that nice straight line. And then as you bring your feet together, you can feel, I feel my tailbone move away from that bolster, and that has a nice cradling effect in my body. And then you'll take your blocks on either side, feet together, move the knees apart, and you have a couple of options with the blocks, maybe a little higher for tight hips, maybe a little lower for those lovely hypermobile folks, but do be sure to make those adjustments that will just create 1% more comfort in your resting pose. And again, we won't be here for very long. So if you're a little uncomfortable, I invite you to just check in and see if you need to move or change. And if you're ready, close your eyes, and we'll bring a bit of awareness to our natural breath, moving through the diaphragm. coming back to that conversation with the body and just checking in. Hey, body, it's me. How are you doing today? Where do you feel alive? What can I do to be of more service to you? Begin to move your awareness to those areas in your body that feel heavy or dense. And then spend some time tending to this energy, moving your breath out to those areas. Just by placing our awareness on different parts of our body, we can imagine the breath coming in and out through these different body parts. So just explore this awareness in your body. And then begin to bring some movement back to your body now as we lighten the load a little bit. Walk the knees in and start to rise. Move your bolster so that it lies crossways on your mats, and scooch up so that you're almost sitting on your bolster that's on the back of your hips. And then start to come down onto your mat so that your shoulders rest on the mat, but your hips are lifted and supported by your bolster. And now draw the knees up towards the chest, and we have the opposite effect on our sacrum here. So the tailbone is naturally tucked, the hips are rolling up towards the navel as opposed to our reclined butterfly shape. So just see how this feels. Maybe in your body this is better or worse than our butterfly pose, but that can give you a little bit of information about your body and what it needs more of. If one feels better than the other, maybe make a commitment to yourself to spend a little more time in those places and postures and activities that feel good to you. Now, extend your arms overhead if that feels good. Reach your feet straight up towards the ceiling and sky, and just spend a little bit of time here tending to your body. I love rolling out my ankles or letting my legs drop open into a straddle. Whatever feels good for you, take some time. You deserve it, and you know best. You know what you need. More often than not, it's a simple thing. It's not something overly complicated. More often than not, we know what we need. We just forget to ask. In the next breath or two, release your feet to the floor. Move your bolster out of the way. Bring it to the right side of your mats. And then cross your left leg over your right and roll the legs to stack right on top of that bolster. This is a nice supported reclined twist. So hopefully the spine feels grounded here. You could move your arms away from your sides, pausing to analyze if this posture is nourishing to you. And then in the next breath or two, start to unwind, moving the knees back towards center. Bring your block to the left side, stack your right knee on top of the left and roll across, letting that bolster catch you if needed. Once more, return to your equal part breath, taking time to lengthen the body to create room and space for positive change. Gently begin to unwind, bringing both knees up to the chest, encircling the knees, softening through the low spine and sacrum. When you're ready, begin to make your way to your final resting pose, landing for a moment now in Savasana, a time of stillness and awareness that deepens our connection to our physical body. Rest here for a few more minutes. And when you hear the sound of the bell, you'll know it is time to awaken. It is time now to awaken, bringing gentle movement back into your body. Gently roll to one side, and when you're ready, press up to join me seated on your mat. It is such an honor to be able to connect with you, to share this time, this space together, and this sacred practice of yoga. I hope this practice has left you feeling a little more in tune with your body, and I hope that you will revisit it whenever you need a little recharge. It is with great pleasure that I say thank you for practicing with me today. From my heart to yours, namaste.